Welcome students, I am Nafiza, your social science teacher. Today's video we will cover the topic formal sector credit in India and informal sector credit in India. Features of both the sectors along with its differences with proper graphical analysis. Before we start today's topic, let's recapitulate the points we have discussed so far. We have started with the topic money as medium of exchange, where goods and services can be exchanged with the help of money. And then we discussed before the evolution of money what is the system used, and that is barter system. Barter system where commodities are being exchanged for the work done, are being exchanged. So here you can see absence of money, exchange of goods took place. This is called barter system. And then we have discussed modern forms of money, in the sense the evolution of money from coins to paper currency notes to demand deposits like checks, now at present credit online transactions. So then we have discussed about demand deposits and the loan activities of bank, the role played by the bank. So here people who have excess money or surplus money, they will deposit amount in the bank. In return they will get the interest for the deposit they have done. Whereas loan activities, the amount which is being deposited, so what the bank does, it gives that money back to the people who are in need of money. So credit, in the way we call it as credit or loan. So the people who have taken the money from the bank in the form of credit need to pay interest amount to the bank. So the interest charged on loans minus the interest paid on deposit is the income of the bank. Clear? The income which is taken from banks or cooperatives is referred to as formal source of credit. Whereas the income taken from relatives, I mean the sense the credit or the loan which we are taking from relatives or friends or traders or money lenders, landlords and some other institutions, non-recognized institutions, are referred to as informal sources of credit. And these are all the percentage of the people normally take loan from. Like many people are, like when it comes to informal sources of credit, many people, nearly 30% of the people will go to money lenders, 1% to landlords, 3% of the people will take it from traders, 7% people from friends and relatives. So this is the percentage of people who take loan from the informal sources of credit. Now let's have a look at the difference between formal source and informal sectors of credit. Formal sector and informal sector of credit in India. If you look at the formal, as the name suggests, everything is formal, everything as per the rules and regulations. So these sources were registered by the government and these have to follow the rules and regulations as the name suggests. Then comes the informal. Name itself is saying there are no rules and regulations. These include the small and scattered units that are largely outside the control of the government. Government won't control these sources of credit. Then second one, who supervises RBI, Reserve Bank of India, supervises the functioning of this formal source of credit, whereas informal sources, no organization to check how these sources are working, what is the rate of interest they are offering, how they are mode of repayment, everything is no organization to check. Whereas here RBI checks, like whether it is banks or cooperatives, RBI, Reserve Bank of India, is there to check everything. Whereas here, because here government is involved and it is not for profit making, only for public welfare, then rate of interest is very low. The rate of interest offered by banks are very low compared to the rate of interest of informal sector, whether it is landlord or the trader. So there be high rate of interest, whereas banks low rate of formal sector, low rates of interest. Then their main motive is social welfare, because government is involved, RBI is also a governmental organization, so it is totally, it's work for the social welfare. The main aim of formal sector is social welfare, whereas informal sector it is profit making. Whether landlord, trader, they'll give interest, they'll give loan on interest because they want to earn more profit. So examples here, banks and cooperatives, and here money lender, trader, employees, relatives and friends. All this comes under informal sources of credit. Now let's have a look at the graphical analysis of the sources of credit per thousand for rupees 1000 in rural households, especially in rural households, village areas, and it is as per the survey done in the year 2012. So this is the percentage of people who are taking loan from formal and informal, different sources of credit. Later on we'll see what are formal and what are informal. Like if you see from government, it's 1%, so any governmental organization. Cooperative societies, banks 25%, whereas commercial banks like SBI, like State Bank of India or Punjab National Bank, these are the banks referred to as Hyderabad Bank of India. So these all comes under commercial banks which are recognized and which are under the control of RBI, Reserve Bank of India. When it comes to here, other institutional agencies 5%, then landlords 1%, money lender 33%, relatives, other non-institutional agencies. These are the different sources of credit facilities for the rural, with the village people. Now let us see how much percentage are they going for formal and how much for informal. As per the categories, percentage mentioned in the textbook, if we see formal sector of credit is 48% and informal sector of credit 52%. Like if we see bank, cooperatives and other sources they have taken here. And then slightly we can see that informal sources, the rural area people are dependent more on informal source of credit. It is 52% than formal source of credit, which is 48%. You might have got clarity about formal and informal sources of credit by now. Let's go with textbook reading. So here they are comparing with the above previous one, like where we have seen different stories and various sources of credit, and then we are able to make it into formal sector and informal sector loans, and we have understood the difference also. So what comes under formal sector? Banks and cooperatives, whereas informal sector it is money lenders, traders, employer, relatives, friends. All this comes under informal sectors of credit. And even graph 1 also they have given clearly how much percentage of people will go for formal or informal. So here you get a question. It's more credit coming from informal or informal? Just now we have seen it's from informal source of credit. One of the important questions from the examination point of view also, it's like features of Reserve Bank of India. So in the Reserve Bank of India, RBI supervises the functioning of the formal sources of loans. With banks, people are going to taking loans from banks or cooperatives, it's under the control of Reserve Bank of India. For instance, we have seen that banks maintain a minimum cash balance. Can you tell me how much cash balance bank is maintaining? It is 15% out of the deposits they receive. The RBI also monitors that the banks actually maintaining the cash balance. It is the work of the RBI to check whether these banks are maintaining minimum cash balance or not. Along with that, RBI also observes that loans are not just given to the profit-making businesses and traders. Okay, it is a governmental organization of social welfare also is part of it. So they will make sure that banks give loan to small cultivators, small scale industries and small borrowers also. Along with this, banks also submit information. Other banks like SBI or Punjab National Bank, these banks have to submit information to RBI on how much they are lending and to whom, at what interest is. All these information should be updated with RBI. In the sense, proper check and balance system is being maintained when it is a formal source of credit and it's been under the control of RBI. This whole paragraph you need to write features of RBI. When it comes to informal sources of credit, there is no organization to supervise the activities and there is no control on the interest rate also. Whereas formal sources, RBI checks, whereas here there is no one to stop them. Informal sources like money lenders, traders, no one to tell them that this is right or this is wrong. they can do whatever they feel like. So compared to formal lenders, most of the informal lenders charge higher rate of interest because there is no check for them, and loans are, so the cost of borrower of informal loans is much higher. So high cost of borrowing means larger part of earnings of borrowers is used to repay the loan, as we have seen the case of Shamal in Sonpur. This story of Shamal we have seen before also, where a large part of his money is going to pay off the interest, like 60% per annum. And here if even for the trader also, he has to pay 3% per month. I hear 5%, 60% per annum in the sense 5%, whereas for trader he has to pay 3%. Along with that, he has to sell the crop also to him. Almost both the conditions, he has to pay a lot of amount in the way of credit. And at the same time, you can see the story of Rama also. Rama, what happened here? She works in a field, agriculture laborer. Her interest rate is more than the income she is earning. That's what, even though she doesn't like, she has to work in the work for the landlord because she do not have money to repay that. So it's finally leading to debt trap. So in another case, the high rate of interest is so high that it is more than the income of the borrower. So they cannot repay the land, finally leading to debt trap, as we have seen the story of Rama just now has shown you also. Also, people who may wish to start enterprise by borrowing may not do so because of high cost of borrowing. If any person wants to start a new business, startup, then he need a loan. If he goes to a bank, okay, bank provides reasonable amount with reasonable rate of interest and gives enough time to repay the loan. But when it comes to informal source, mode of repayment or the money given, everything is in the hands of them because no one there to check, leading to debt trap. So if in order to solve the problem, because informal source of credit, we all know lot many disadvantages are there. Even then, why majority of the people are going to informal source of credit? That we'll discuss further. So here, who has to take up the role? Formal source of credit like banks and cooperatives should come forward, and they should give more and more money. They should give more credit to the people so that people utilize that opportunity, set up their business, as you have seen in the case of a shoe manufacturer Salim. He earned profit. In the same way, slowly after 5 or 6 years, he will become a very big and successful entrepreneur. So credit has helped him to develop. So if banks and cooperatives come forward and if they give loan, it leads to positive development of a person, leading to personal development, at the same time national development also. This would lead to higher incomes, and many people could then borrow cheaply for a variety of needs. If loan amount is less, suppose if interest amount is less, if we take a loan, we can set up a business, we can start the construction of house, we can purchase the vehicle, and slowly installment wise we can clear our money. You can just find out from your parents at home, did they take any loan from the for their household needs, whether it is formal source of credit or informal source of credit. Just find out. Okay, and why do they need money? To grow crops, to set up, to do business, to set up small scale industries. So this way what happens, they could set up new industries and trade in goods. Cheap and affordable credit is crucial for the country's development. If people set up now Make in India concept, everyone knows India should, as we have seen in the agriculture lesson and manufacturing industries lesson, final product has more value compared to the raw material. So India is exporting lot of raw material than the final product, and we are at a much loss here. So if many people comes forward, if they set up the business and we can go to the final product, India will surely flourish. So credit plays a very crucial role for the country's development. Have a look at the picture given you a textbook and what is the matter here. But why should a bank want us to have higher income? Till now, through our discussion, it's been very clear that if a person takes loan from bank or cooperative like formal sectors, then surely there is a positive development. But why many people are not opting for it? Even this person is asking why banks want us to have higher income. And now let us, with this point we'll discuss, and you also need to tell me why banks want a higher income. What is this person's problem here from taking a loan from a bank? So along with that, let's have a look at the survey. Here they have given the graphical analysis, very clear graphical analysis of rural households and urban households, like cities and villages, poor people and rich people, who is taking which kind of loan. So here blue color indicates informal source, whereas purple color indicates formal source of credit. So poor households. So how much percentage of poor household are taking from informal source? 85% of the people in rural, poor people, are dependent on informal source of credit. They are not going for formal. When it comes to rich people, how much? 90% of people here are opting for formal source, means poor people are becoming more poor, going into debt trap because of informal sources, whereas rich people are becoming much rich because they are taking loan from banks and easily they can repay the money at a minimum interest rate. Next, have a look at households with few assets, means like middle class people. Most probably, even here also, if you see, informal source plays a major role, formal source very less. So even here, well off households, rich people. So if you compare the rich households, they are going with formal source of credit more than the informal sources, very less here. Can you understand the difference? Then why poor people are not taking loan from the banks? Why only rich people are taking is the question. The same graphical analysis is been explained in this paragraph. As you can see, 85% of the poor people are using the informal sources, whereas 10% of the loans of rich people, they take from the informal source, whereas 90% are going for formal source of credit. Similar pattern is observed in the rural areas also. What does all these suggest? First, the formal sectors meets only the total credit needs of the half of the total credit needs of the rural people. Very less people are taking are opting for the formal source of credit. Many are not going. Remaining are dependent on the informal sources. So most loans from informal lenders carry a very high rate of interest. They do very little to increase the income of the borrower. So it is necessary for the banks and cooperatives to increase their lending, to give more credit facilities, especially in rural areas, so that they depend less on informal and less they can go to debt trap. Whereas second one, formal sector loans need to expand. It is also necessary that everyone receives these loans. Formal sector, if it is ready, people also should be able to receive. It should reach the people. The bank facilities should reach the people. At present, it is only the richer households who are receiving more of formal credit, whereas poor depend on informal source of credit only. It is very important that formal source distributed more equally so that the poor can benefit from the cheaper loans. Now can you tell me what is the reason why poor people are opting for informal source? The main reason is banks need collateral, documentation, whereas many of the poor people do not have collateral, security. We need to give something as security to the banks. Suppose if we are taking a car loan, then we have to give a security, assurance of the salary certificate or the bank account details. Suppose if we are trying to build a house, we need to keep the documents of land. So some security, collateral need to be given in the form of land or gold or cattle, livestock. This to be kept as collateral with the bank. Only bank will give the loans, and poor people do not have the collateral. That's the problem the farmer has said there. Now can you get answer to this question? Why this? Because he is a very poor farmer. If you can see him here, he cannot produce collateral, he cannot proper documentation. So he feels that than going around the bank, he better go to a money lender and take the money. But in turn, it goes to a debt trap. So how to solve this problem of collateral? What are the things that can be done so that banks also provide loans to these people and these people can take loan from the bank, which we will discuss in our next video. If you have any further doubts in this today's topic, you can message me. Thank you.